Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Monday, November the 7th. And starting with Apple here, we talked about, last time we spoke, we looked at looking for lows in a lot of stocks and looking for this ABC correction back to the upside. Now, of course, not all stocks are the same. Of course, we've got Enphase, which is in a different pattern. There's Tesla, there's a few of them that are, Nvidia is another one. So there's a few that are a little bit different, but generally speaking, we've been looking for this move down through here as wave one. So let's just cut through to some intraday chart here. So in a bit of a nutshell, we're looking down at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down, and then we're looking for an ABC back. So we're going to be bullish for a little while we, well, maybe a couple of sessions or something. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, maybe two, something like two, I guess. So yeah, so that's basically what we're looking for, an ABC correction, and then down at that point. So let's just continue to cruise in here. So we're on 5k, so we'll just go to 1k for a moment. I'm just going to shorten this up a little bit. So this is really it in a nutshell. We're looking for, from the top here down to the low of wave one. We're looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. That A wave will come back into the supply there, and then we gravitate over to the closest, largest number, the 140 area. So we should see, obviously it can always be a little bit different, but the general sort of idea would be this. And will we make it up to the 145? It's a long way, but there's nothing really stopping it here. There's no real consolidation. The consolidation is here and then here. So they're the supply blocks at that point. So yes, it could move up there, quite swiftly. So we'll need to just 144 is a good number, 145 is a good number. So that's really where we're at with that. Just checking structures. So let me just cruise into the 100 thing. So we probably I'm thinking, look, if we end up, we've got a short trade here. If we end up way up here, we'll look a bit silly, won't we, in holding onto that position. So maybe you're out already on this, but I think we'll need to clean this up a little bit. So, taking some money off the table here. So, yeah, just coming back to this here. Let's just have a little look inside here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Third, fourth, yeah. So we'll probably hit the 140 and then pull back at that point and then move up. Now we may not make it all the way up here because, when you look at this here, then we're going to be pulling back. Say 37 would be kind of about right, 36.50. So we might only end up at 143, 144. So then it wasn't worth getting out at that point. I really don't know. Do you know what I mean? That's the that's where it can come to. This normally A and C have some sort of equality, so that would be sort of okay there. And I know that for it to get to 145 up here, it would have to find support on 143. But we don't really want to make a decision that late in the game, So yeah. Anyway, I've put the green line under here. So with most stocks, we can short under here just in case something goes wrong, and then we can also bring it up to the B wave at that time, and then we'll also be able to just bring this up through to here and go that way with it. We could count 5 waves in wave C and then short it, and or wait for that just to top out and then look for the first sort of move down and then look for the 61.8% retracement and then get a very small position and then look to add to that position under the level. So that's kind of most stocks in a way. So let's just see how that goes, and let's move along. Nvidia is a little bit different, and the banks are different as well. The banks are going to make a new high, and this is also going to make a new high as well. So we can expect this up to the closer to the 150. I'm not sure if I need to put wave 3 just here, because I've got a bit of overlapping wave structures. It might be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave up here. Not quite sure, but we will be going higher. We did have a short position, didn't have a position in this, but we were looking to short under the level here, because you know, I know that once this market's got support on 130, then it's normally goes to 150. So if it broke down, we would short it at that point. So yeah, that's still got further to go. We could count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go to the upside here at 144. But I think there's more, you know, the time that it takes, say Apple and the other stocks to, you know, finish this on the opening and have some sort of pullback here and then pull up here. It could do it all in a session, I suppose. Probably 2, but like I say, we don't have to rush, because we want to get confirmation of that first impulse wave to the downside. But that's sort of what we're looking at this point. I mean, I never really understood Nvidia's count coming up here, as I've mentioned before. I mean, some of it I can figure out. I mean, we've got a nice 5 waves between here, and I can get 5 waves out of here, and you know, this was a little bit sort of howdy-do. So you know, it was a little bit sort of tricky to get the right count, and I still don't like this count. I still don't like the fact that this is wave A and B here, and all of this is wave C. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I'd rather count the whole thing up as an impulse wave. We'll see. We'll see how, if it turns with the other markets a bit later. Amazon's the same as Apple and Google and those sorts of things. So we're looking for some sort of rally in terms of ABC. I wouldn't worry about the target too much, you know, and we're just really looking for the A wave to come up. It will come up, you know, to the wave 4 here. Should be some sort of quick pullback to the 90, and then a pull up, a move up into 95, 96.50. You know, see how that goes. Yeah, and we'll look for the short trade up there. And once again, we can look at this low, and we can move it to this low, and we can look at it up here as well with all of that. But this was the short trade that we're looking for next. So Meta Platforms, it's also the same as well. It's got that move to the upside here. This little leg's not finished yet, so there'll be, you know, there'll be some sort of little wave 4, wave 5, and then some sort of 3-wave structure here, and then another 5 waves up here somewhere. Sort of the A wave and the C wave having roughly the same length, you know, and then just look for the numbers over here, and you'll understand group 1. So if it gets a nice support here, then it'll shoot up to 95. It just gets pulled up at that point, a bit like this here. Just gets pulled up at that point if it gets enough support here. Netflix is another one. We're also looking for the ABC pattern. How far will it go up? I don't know. Yeah, let's just see how that plays out. I mean, this number here will be pulling it down as well. It hasn't really left this trend, but it has made a bit of an effort. So we'll give it a bit of credit and just monitor that. But yeah, look, I basically want to try to get back into group 2 here. These are the resistance points here, 65, 72 and 80. So how it bangs its head against that, well, the first one will be against the 65 and then maybe the 72. So I don't think it's going to go far. But of course, they're all going to turn at the same time, you know. Okay, now Enphase is a little bit different. This short trade we had on here, we're going to take that off. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that now. So yeah, I mean, as far as the cookie crumbles, it's we do have a, you know, we do have a nice 5-wave structure up through here. So that's all good, and then we're looking to have it 3 waves back into the box. Well, it's done that. So it could, you know, just continue to push up here. But I don't know that. The other markets are going to have 3 waves, right? And then move down from that point. So is that going to happen here? I mean, it's kind of moving with the other markets, isn't it? You know what I mean? So they're in sync a little bit. Will they depart here, or will the markets be stronger? I think what we could do, if you're keen on this stock, then I think getting a very small position on the long side here, just make it a part position, so you know that you an amount that you don't mind losing, and we should be able to halve that risk as well. So what we'll do is we'll just get a thicker line. We're just going to put it under here, the stop under here for the time being. And when we're going to halve this risk. So when this moves up and comes back and then moves up again, we're going to move that up under that low, 1 point below that low, because that will be 5 waves up at that point. And let's just keep an eye on it. So if you do half a position, if you're really keen on this stock, if you do half a position or third, and then we'll put the stop under here, and then we're going to halve that risk. Well, it's never really half. It's always works out a bit less than half, but it just depends on where the pullback comes in, you know. So that will be it, and then we'll just see. And the other way to go is to see how far it does go. If it's going to be positive, it's going to be 1 and 2 here, and then it's going to be either an ABC pattern here, or that C wave is going to be wave 3, and then we're going to have wave 5 here. So if we get wave 5, then we can get a little pullback. Normally the 5 waves would hit this level up here, but it's got a bit of history here now, so it may not get there. So we may, if we can count 5 waves up here, then we could go to buy back over this point if you wanted to. We'll do it both ways, shall we? We'll look at it in both ways, but we also just need to understand that you know, that this may end up being a losing trade with just the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for whatever reasons, and then come down again at that point. So yeah, I'm just going to move that to there as well, just so I remember what I said. So yeah, but look, based on that 5 waves here, can we look at it as an ABC pattern? Possibly, we could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, but the relationship between this and this is a little bit out of whack, you know. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you. There's 2 ways we can look at all of that. You know, we're going against the grain a little bit, but we also know we've got a few sessions to the upside here as well. Okay, Tesla. So with Tesla, we talked about shorting it here. Because we're at 200, I think we'll take the money off the table, and we'll just, because I know that the markets are going to be you know, going to be up on Monday and probably, you know, correcting a bit and then going up again for a bit. So I don't think this is wave 3. It's just a little bit short of, bit shy of the length of wave 1. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we could still have like a little wave 4 here, like I mentioned, like a wave 4 here, and then have a wave 5 down here, you know, and then having this shorter, and then having an ABC pattern back up for wave 2, and then coming down at that point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that, and then have that. So it's going to be a bit choppy either which way I look at it. So we'll take those trades off. We'll just put that away for a moment, and yeah, let's just watch it. Just thinking this out a bit. Sorry about this. I'm just thinking a few counts that we may encounter. We'll just assess them as we go. We'll see where that gets to, shall we? We're going to have time either way. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know, not so much. Doesn't really matter which count comes in. It's just a matter of getting it at the right time. So if this just gives us an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, you could short that. You could short the box. I mean, as a wave 4, it's not going to go that high. We can look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, by the way. I think we could just about short that. Is there any other way I could look at it? What happens if I've made a mistake? That brings us back up to here. We'll just watch it. We've got time. It's not going to go far on us. You could short it in the box if you wanted to with a very small position, and just be prepared to keep the stop out the way up here somewhere. And there's going to be a few bounces around here, and we may not get the first one, but if that locks in, then we'll get the second one, and then we'll build under here for that. Alphabet, I've changed this around a little bit because I was looking just on, say, I like a 15-minute chart. You see here, it looks like it's just 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It looks like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So looking at this as 1 and 2, and then down here for 1 and 2. So we're going to clean out of this trade as well. We talked about taking some profit here on group 1. You may have done that. We can also, if I've made a mistake, we can go short under here. Okay. But otherwise, let's just take the money off the table, because if this is 1 here, then we're going to end up back up here for this. So I'm going to clean these up here now. I'll leave that there. Let's just monitor the bounce in all of these markets. Well, they're not bounces in all of them, but Nvidia is going to make a new high. The banks are going to make a new high. So Microsoft is the same, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. We're going to take the money off the table here as well. So we're going to clean this up, take that off the money, take that there. We don't want to turn it into a losing trade. If it is wave 2 coming back, then look, it may just hit the trend line, and might just be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, something like that, and then come down. But then we'll get it at that point. We'll see. And Berkshire Hathaway. So now we've got 5 waves here. We've got 1 and 2, and well, wave 3 to here, wave 4, and then we're going to have an ABC for wave 5. So you could short that if you wanted to. but don't overdo it, of course. It's just a very small position. And block, so this caught me out. It did make a new low here, didn't really give me a nice 5-wave structure down here, so I'm going to treat it like a B wave, an ABC for the A wave, and a B wave and a C wave, or even an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we're going to get, I mean, it looks impulsive to this side, so it could just come down, and we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here already. But there's a chance that we can make a new high here, so we'll just have to wait about that. So yeah, that caught me. I didn't expect a strong bounce like that, but must have had its earnings or something. So we'll just leave that for the time being, and over to the bank. So which bank? This is BAC here. So yeah, these are going to make new highs. So what I'm going to do is look at them as 1 and 2 here, and we had this as 3 and 4 before, but we'll have to look at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave for the third, the fourth here, and then looking for 5 waves to the upside. So in this case here, we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 1 and 2 here. So we're going to be looking at wave 3, 4, and 5 coming into play. Be something like that. So that's going to take a good 2 days. And this will be the other banks as well doing the same thing. So Goldman's, it makes a bit more sense now as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. So up at the 3 into group 2 here at least for this. And the same for JP here as well, as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And 3, 4, and 5, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here will give us about the same timing as we're going to see those rallies in the tech stocks. So these are driving to the upside. We did have a look at Johnson & Johnson before. I've just sort of kept it because of its possible bullish count. So it's a little bit, I'll probably need to do some work in here, but I was just sort of interested over the next few days, if we do make a new high here, right, then we'll just keep a bit of an eye on this. We've had it as an A and a B and a C wave down here, and then 1 and 2, well, I could probably go 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth wave. If we get a fifth wave here, we'll keep a bit of an eye on this, because if markets are going to be bullish and I've got it all totally wrong, then we'll need to know at what point we can go bullish in a lot of these markets. So Johnson & Johnson and the healthcare sector, you know, I mean, the energy sector is the strongest, and the healthcare is probably, technically I don't know, but it would probably be, you know, secondary in terms of the strength within the S&P 500. And yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this one, because if the markets are going to be bullish, we've got it wrong, then we need to be long. You know, we need to be. You have to remember that it's not. I mean, look, it's nice to be right all the time, you know, and you know, as an analyst like I am, then that can be tricky, because you're only as good as your last call, so to speak, you know. So I try not to think about being right or wrong. I just try to think about making money, and because otherwise, if you know, it's being right and wrong is the same. They're both the same problem, really, because they throw you off your game. You know, one makes you high and one makes you low, and it's not really about that. It's really about making money. So what I'm trying to say here is that if we can work out that this particular stock and other stocks are giving us an impulse wave to the upside, and this has been long for quite some time here, well then we want to be long at that point, and we'll have a look at some of the other stocks at that point. So yeah, I mean, we do have that long position for the S&P, which we can just bring this up and look at it. So from wave 3 up here, looking down as wave A and B and C, that's the whole bear market, right? Of course, we all know that there's inflation and there's a lot of money printing, and and we know that all the sort of fundamentals to a point. How we decipher those is another thing. But when we are short in a market or looking to be short, then we need to look at the long side as well. We have to figure out what the long side is, and this would be the long side here with wave 4 in here, and then looking at this as 1 and 2 and as a leading diagonal triangle to the upside, either as wave 1 or wave A and then wave B here, and then a move up from that point. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. We know that the banks are going to rally for a few days, so we're going to see a bit of and the tech stocks. So we're going to see this. We should see this pull back up into supply levels here at least, But what happens if it does move up here further? I mean, I don't have a nice 5 waves down here. I can get a 5 wave structure down here. I can just go 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here for 1, and then look for an A and a B and a C back for wave 2 here. So we've got a couple of sessions here before we can short it, but I think it's just healthy to look at both sides of the market. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that for the time being, and I'll get onto the indices video. Alrighty, cheers.